I've had this Eastwood press brake tool for a long time, and I'm just getting things cleaned up enough here where I can assemble it. So, we'll check it out together. Tools required: a little bit of grease, some Allen keys, 16mm wrench, a magnet for picking up the washers when you drop them on the floor, small dead blow hammer, and super clean. Essentially, a sheet metal brake is comprised of a die and a punch. The punch has basically a V shape on it, but you can set up different dies and punches for different size radiuses. You can use small pieces of angle iron or larger pieces to set them down in here. This is a 90-degree surface. Typically, you just use this brake punch and this die to form your bends. But like I said, you can change things up to create different size radiuses if that's required. These are shipped covered in Cosmoline to keep from rusting, but it's no trouble for Super Clean. Wipes that stuff right off. Okay, after cleaning, the first part of the assembly is to attach the lower die to the lower die plate. Doing that right now with a couple of 6mm socket head screws and washers. I kind of feel like I should put some paint on this. I hate to see it rust. So here are the two guides for the upper punch that'll ride, on here, keep it moving up and down. There'll be a couple of return springs, one on each side, to help lift it up. And the one thing that's kind of, I don't want to say disappointing, but the mounting bolts do not get countersunk into the bottom plate, so it always rides on these. Now, that will not be a problem in the press because the press, the front and back cross members are open between them, but when you're trying to store it somewhere, it's always going to be rocking. No big deal. What would any project be without a special alignment tool? Apply a little grease on those guideposts to help the upper die move a little bit more smoothly. See if I can do this with one hand. Okay, see how those return springs work? That way when you release the hydraulic jack, the bottle jack that's on the press, this will automatically raise up and allow you to move the sheet metal out. And the last part of the assembly was installing these 4 8mm Allen head socket head cap screws that will connect the upper punch to the ram on the press. So there is our Eastwood press brake tool. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna put this in the press and see if we can make a bend or two. Okay, here's the press brake in the press. Now I'm going to torque down those M8 bolts so it holds it to the ram. You can see the ram there. Here's the jack. Presses down on the ram, comes down and forms the part. The next thing I want to do is align the upper brake punch with the lower die. Basically, it's a self-centering operation. You just drive it down till the punch centers itself in the lower die, and you call it a day. This is where it would be nice to have an air over oil cylinder on this press. I think when I start my tea bucket, that's going to be on the short list. Okay. On this side, the alignment looks pretty good. We're looking for no daylight between the punch and the die where they come in contact, and make sure everything looks straight. This is the other side. Again, looks pretty good. Let's bend a piece of metal. You'll see when I release the jack that the punch should retract on its own with the die springs that are in there. There we go. Works just like it's supposed to. Okay, I just got a small sheet of 65 thou thick mild steel. Let's see how it goes. This press is a 20-ton shop press. I got it at Harbor Freight a long time ago. Haven't had any trouble with it. I'm going to bring it all the way down. Just give it a little coin. Okay, that's enough. And let's release the press. Okay. Take a look. I hit it just a little bit more. It's not quite 90. Give it a little bit more pressure. See if I can see it. Yep, it's coming up a little bit more. One thing to keep in mind when you're bending metal is you always have a little bit of spring back, and you have to kind of maybe work your way up on the bend to get it where you want it. But not too bad. Radius looks pretty nice on the outside. And there's a picture of it on the inside. Nice, straight, consistent. I'm very happy with that. Well, hey, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. That's my Eastwood press brake. God bless you.